Call of Duty had well and truly lost me in recent years. I hadn't played the last one, and I'd barely played the one before that, and I didn't play the one before that. But I was counting on Treyarch to reel me back in, and they've done just that. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that Black Ops 6 has brought the series back to its glory days, but it has reignited my love for Call of Duty by delivering an exhilarating campaign, enjoyable multiplayer experience, and a solid zombies experience. Black Ops 6 really raises the bar for campaign mode, especially from the last entry, delivering an experience that makes you feel like you're stepping into the role of a covert operative during some of the most intense global conflicts, creating a campaign that's both powerful and memorable. One of the first things you'll notice in Black Ops 6 is how refreshing the level design feels. Rather than following a purely linear route and shooting people and blowing stuff up all the time, levels often open up with multiple pathways and tactical options, allowing you to approach these missions in a way that fits your style. For example, if you're in an urban environment, you might find a mix of narrow alleyways and rooftops that let you sneak past enemies or set up ambushes. In desert landscapes, there are dense areas that force you to think strategically about your cover and line of sight, giving you an advantage if you're careful and think about your positioning. Each level feels crafted not just for combat, but for immersion in this world. You'll find areas set up for close range firefights, but also shadowed corridors and surveillance points where stealth is often the more applicable strategy. This flexibility means that you're encouraged to blend your tactics, alternating between sneaking, sniping, and going loud. You'll feel like every decision has weight in this respect, which is rare in a first-person shooter, especially the Call of Duty series historically, and it gives Black Ops 6 this fresh modern take on the series' classic level design. The atmosphere is deeply infused with an espionage vibe that's easy to get lost in. Each mission drops you into locations that could be straight out of a spy thriller. Safe houses, casinos, high security political meetings. Every environment feels charged with tension, of secrecy and danger. You'll get missions where you're sneaking into highly secured areas to steal sensitive intel, bugging locations, interrogating targets. These scenarios pull you into the life of a covert agent, giving you a sense of the high-stakes operations and moral grey areas that often come with intelligence work. This spy-like feel is heightened by the use of all the gadgets and the stealth mechanics. Night vision, silencers, hacking tools, they aren't just gimmicks, they're essential in certain missions, as using brute force can get you detected and fail the mission. You're pushed to use the tools at your disposal to outwit the enemies and gather your intel. You don't just equip a grenade or something like that, you have a wheel of all of your gadgets and score streaks, making the game feel like a true espionage thriller, like you have options at your disposal. I really liked the spy theme of the game. It was a breath of fresh air compared to just being yet another soldier on the front lines. The campaign story is robust, featuring a pretty compelling narrative that links each mission into a cohesive whole. It's more than just a sequence of shootouts. Black Ops 6 invests in its characters and a few cool plot twists that elevate the campaign. You can speak to these characters in the safe house, a hub area where you can upgrade your character with money you find out on the missions. It's also threadbare enough to prevent it from feeling overwhelming or compulsory. You could completely ignore all of this stuff and you would be fine, you would understand the game and you wouldn't be too weak. The characters you do encounter have their own motives and backstories, and they have their own stakes in the mission's success or failure, which makes the whole thing feel a lot more significant. You'll feel the mounting tension as the game reaches its crescendo and you uncover new information, watching alliances shift and forcing you to adapt to new enemies. The storyline is interspersed with cinematic moments that make it feel like a big budget action film in classic COD fashion. You'll be part of major set pieces, like assault on an enemy base, daring infiltration into secret compounds. These moments break up the pacing and give you a chance to just experience some good old jaw-dropping sequences that keep the adrenaline high, building the stakes of the story. One of the most surprising aspects of Black Ops 6's campaign is how it introduces horror elements that make certain missions genuinely quite unsettling. There are sections where you find yourself alone in dimly lit, eerie locations where every corner holds a possible threat, every creak or distant sound makes you question what might be lurking out of sight. There's even one level that is straight up just a homage to classic Resident Evil. You need to find 4 keycards to progress, and each keycard lies at the end of a solitary horror scenario. The horror isn't necessarily about just drastic jump scares, but it's instead a pervasive sense of dread. You hear unsettling voices over the radio that hint at something deeply wrong, and there's mannequins that act like weeping angels, and I hate mannequins, I think they're terrifying, so this really got to me. This tension doesn't let up until you finish the mission, adding a psychological layer that's unusual for Call of Duty, but incredibly effective in Black Ops 6. I was quite surprised at how well they pulled this kind of thing off. These moments keep you on edge, and they add a powerful contrast to the explosive action scenes of the campaign, making this story feel varied and dynamic. I'm not going to pretend the game randomly morphs into Outlast or anything, but every now and then they do put considerable effort into creeping you out. Overall, Black Ops 6's campaign is a standout because it's willing to take risks with its level design. You'll feel like you're part of a well-written spy drama where every mission matters, and each moment of action or suspense feels earned. Whether you're drawn to strategic, stealth-based gameplay or love the thrill of the cinematic set pieces that you're used to seeing in these games, the game has something to offer you, creating an experience that's far more than your standard military shooter. But most people are here for the multiplayer, and Black Ops 6 brings a multiplayer experience that's both familiar yet refreshing, standing out as one of the most polished and addictive entries in the series' recent history. The game combines finely tuned gunplay, incredibly fluid movement mechanics, possibly too fluid movement mechanics, and a rewarding progression system that keeps you engaged match after match. At the heart of Black Ops 6's multiplayer lies its refined gunplay, which feels intuitive yet challenging enough to reward skill and practice. Each weapon type, from assault rifles and SMGs to shotguns and sniper rifles, has a unique feel and role, catering to various playstyles and encouraging you to experiment. The guns are meticulously balanced, offering different trade-offs in terms of damage, accuracy and recoil, making it essential for you to choose a weapon that complements your personal tactics. Treyarch has clearly invested effort into making gunfights feel impactful and satisfying. With every shot you land, you get a visceral sense of the weapon's power, enhanced by carefully crafted sound design and visual effects that make each bullet hit feel meaningful. The result is an experience where even a short firefight feels thrilling. The attention to detail means that every headshot feels earned, rewarding precision and timing. Weapon customization also plays quite a big role in enhancing the gunplay. With an expansive set of attachments, you can modify weapons to fit specific roles, like silencers for stealth or extended magazines so you don't have to reload as often. This level of customization not only makes the gameplay more strategic, but also lets you tailor weapons to fit your playstyle, adding depth and complexity that enhances replayability. It's also not overly complex, which other recent entries could be accused of being. Movement is another standout element that contributes to the success of Black Ops 6's multiplayer. The game has found a balance between grounded movement and agility, creating a system that feels fast-paced and quite chaotic. The movement mechanics, including sprinting and sliding in any direction, are fluid and responsive, allowing you to move through the map with precision and speed. I'm not necessarily personally interested in spending hours mastering all of this omni-movement stuff, because that's just not me anymore. I'm too old for that stuff. But there is a high skill ceiling here if you're interested in doing all that. The sliding mechanic in particular is always a good way to allow you to dodge incoming fire and surprise enemies around corners. Combined with smooth sprinting transitions and the ability to quickly transition from crouch to standing positions, the movement in this game just feels very natural and allows for advanced maneuvers if you're willing to put in the time. Black Ops 6 also emphasises verticality in its map design. I don't necessarily think that a lot of the maps in this game are very good. I think quite a lot of them are pretty bad, but the verticality specifically encourages you to think about positioning in multiple dimensions, with ledges to climb, rooftops to jump on, and vantage points to control. Movement becomes more than just getting from A to B, it's a tool for gaining the tactical upper hand. The game makes an effort to reward players who spend the time to master the movement system and think creatively about their positioning. But the multiplayer experience in Black Ops 6 all boils down to how incredibly addictive it is, largely due to the progression system. One of the key factors here is the camo grind, the infamous camo grind, a staple of the Call of Duty series, but one that Black Ops 6 executes particularly well in my opinion. The game features a wide range of camouflage skins for each weapon, each requiring specific challenges to unlock, from simple tasks such as getting 100 headshots to more advanced challenges like kills without reloading. The camo grind offers short-term and long-term goals that keep you coming back for more. This camo progression creates an addictive gameplay loop. Even when a match ends, you feel compelled to get straight into another. You've got challenges to complete. You're driven by the desire to unlock the next camo. As you unlock increasingly rarer camos, you gain a sense of accomplishment and bragging rights, especially if you manage to earn one of the top tier mastery camos like Diamond or Dark Matter. I have only ever got Dark Matter in one game, and that was Black Ops 3, and once was definitely enough for one lifetime for me personally. These high tier rewards though serve as a visible indicator of your skill or your dedication, encouraging not only individual improvement but also a sense of pride in what you achieve. Beyond camo grinding, Black Ops 6 also rewards consistent play with experience points and leveling. Every single match you play gets you closer to leveling up, and when you level up, you unlock new weapons, new perks, new equipment. The steady progression is perfectly paced, giving you something new to look forward to every few levels, whether it's a powerful new gun or an attachment that changes how you play the game. By constantly offering micro rewards, Black Ops 6 keeps you engaged and willing to return. I can imagine their player retention levels are quite high. Black Ops 6's multiplayer also benefits from a diverse set of game modes, each offering a unique challenge. Whether you're a fan of the classic TDM or domination, or prefer something a bit more obscure and light-hearted like Prop Hunt or Infected, the game offers something for everyone. Each mode has its own pacing and strategies, meaning that you can always find something that suits your mood and playstyle. Of course, the elephant in the room with any COD multiplayer game these days is the skill-based matchmaking. And look, skill-based matchmaking sucks, but unfortunately it isn't going anywhere and we just have to get used to it. Overall, Black Ops 6 multiplayer, everything works as it should to create an experience that is challenging, rewarding, and highly replayable. The precision of the gunplay, the fluidity of the movement, the addictive progression system, it all contributes to a multiplayer mode that keeps you wanting to come back for more. Whether you're striving to unlock the next camo, improve yourself, mastering a weapon choice, or just shoot a few things with your friends, Black Ops 6 delivers an experience that feels both intensely competitive and deeply satisfying. Hi everyone, this is me. Look how cool I am. Just wanted to take a quick break from the video to say that if you're enjoying the content, then to please check out some of the other videos on the channel if they look interesting to you. You'd be doing yourself a favour if you really think about it. I even have a playlist with some of my best videos, so they're easy viewing. Thanks guys, back to the video. And then there's the zombies. I haven't played too much of the zombies, but I have done the Terminus Easter egg. There were 2 maps on launch, with another one either out soon or out now, depending on when it's actually releasing. Liberty Falls is one of the zombies maps, and we're going to keep this brief because honestly I've barely played this map. It seems fine from my limited experience with it, but I found Terminus much more interesting. The map's aesthetic and design are a real highlight. Terminus stands out visually by combining urban decay with a sort of high-tech feel. You see remnants of a city that was once thriving, but is now overtaken by darkness and, of course, zombies. It has that signature post-apocalyptic style, but adds neon-lit corridors, atmospheric lighting, and eerie soundscapes that make you feel quite immersed. Each area is distinct, so you can easily recognise where you are whilst exploring, which is especially helpful when you're training zombies or hunting down the Easter egg steps. In terms of perks, Terminus introduces a mix of the classic fan favourites. They're strategically placed around the map to encourage exploration and risk-taking, like positioning Juggernog in a heavily guarded area. These perk locations encourage you to master the layout of the map and heighten the tension because you can't just pop in and grab a drink whenever you feel like it. As for the map's size, Terminus strikes a balance between being large enough to explore but tight enough to keep the action constant. The map includes some open spaces for training, plus some claustrophobic hallways and vertical elements that add another layer of challenge. It's big enough for you to feel like there's always somewhere new to go, but it's not so sprawling that it ever feels like too much. The map's size also lets you try out different tactics, whether you prefer to hunker down in a specific area or keep running around the map as you go. You can even get on a boat and travel to different islands, although you aren't alone in the water. This could easily become overwhelming, but it doesn't. There's a lot of places to go in the map, but none of them are too difficult to get to. You can travel around pretty quickly. And then there's the Easter egg, which I thoroughly enjoyed completing. The steps require you to explore almost every inch of the map, mastering its layout as you chase down the clues to perform these hidden challenges. As you solve each step, you become more immersed in the map's secrets and you get drawn deeper into the sort of narrative they've got going on. I've missed a few games, I don't know if this is linked to the other ones. Story-wise, I haven't got a clue what's going on in the zombies, but it's still cool getting a cutscene and feeling rewarded for all of your hard work. If you're a fan of challenging story-driven Easter eggs, then Terminus does nail this by striking a perfect balance between difficulty and payoff. And Zombies, of course, has its own camo grind. I won't play the game enough to make substantial progress on this, but it's nice that Zombies does have an equivalent. In terms of me specifically, I can tell that Zombies has changed quite a lot since I really got sunk into it. Like, you can bring your own gun in now. I don't know what any of the Gobblegums do. You've got a special ultimate ability and all sorts of stuff. There's a lot more going on than when I last played, but it wasn't too overwhelming once you got used to it. In short, though, Terminus brings together a compelling Easter egg quest, a haunting map design, and carefully placed perks on a perfectly sized map, making it a very memorable experience. It hits all the marks of what you'd want in a Zombies map, at least for me: complexity, atmosphere, and just the right amount of space to keep you having fun with training the zombies, but without feeling too easy. I was hoping that Black Ops 6 would reel me back into Call of Duty, and I think it has. I won't be playing it every day like I did in my mid-teens, but I'll definitely be popping back in for a few games when they add new content over the year. Black Ops 6 provides a thrilling campaign, an addictive multiplayer experience, and an enthralling zombies mode. There really is something for everybody here. I'm not going to claim that Call of Duty is back, but Call of Duty has delivered a solid game here, and that's all I really wanted. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. I hope that you did enjoy it. If you did, then please make sure to leave a like, as that would mean a massive amount to me. It really does help. And if you want to see more videos from me, then you should subscribe, because I upload a video every single week. Have a nice day, and goodbye.